Wednesday, 19 August 2026. 3 Asia-Pacific AI stories before your first coffee. Nvidia is guaranteeing up to $105 billion of lease and power obligations at SoftBank Energy's Ports to Pike campus in Ohio, a facility sized at 4.25 IT gigawatts, with an option on 3.75 more and first capacity due in 2028. OpenAI holds a 20-year lease, and Nvidia retains exclusivity on AI compute at the site, while Nvidia is also investing $1.5 billion to become a shareholder in SB Energy alongside SoftBank Group and OpenAI. The Asian supply chain underpinning the campus is already visible. SK hynix booked 17.61 trillion won from Nvidia in the first half of 2026 alone, with a second customer close behind at 17.19 trillion won. Why it matters? The financial commitment locks Nvidia into a landlord guarantee structure that funnels enormous procurement volume through its existing Asian component suppliers, particularly SK hynix for high bandwidth memory and TSMC for advanced packaging. Capital allocators tracking Asia's semiconductor complex should note that SK hynix's Nvidia revenue now rivals its next largest customer almost equally, reducing single buyer concentration risk but raising exposure to one campus build-out timeline. Builders in the region supplying power systems, cooling infrastructure, and advanced interconnects stand to see purchase orders scale as the 2028 delivery window approaches. The second order effect worth watching is whether this guarantee model, where the chip vendor backstops the data center operator, becomes the template SoftBank replicates for its planned Asian hyperscale sites. So China's AI music sector shipped 2 competing models in a single week. Alibaba's Happy Shrimp 1.0 entered beta on 17 August, generating melody, arrangement, lyrics, and vocals from a single prompt, with Tahe Music Group attached as a major label co-creation partner. The same week, Minimax released Music 3 as open weights, capable of producing up to 5 minutes of 32 kHz stereo audio in one pass, with a commercial license that is free for any entity earning below $20 million a year in revenue. Why it matters? Asian music studios and content platforms now have both a closed API path and a fully open weights path for AI composition, which collapses the build versus buy decision into a single procurement cycle. Indie developers and mid-tier labels across Southeast Asia and Japan can run Music 3 locally without per-track API costs, while larger Chinese studios with label relationships may default to Happy Shrimp for its Tahe pipeline. The second order effect to track is how ByteDance responds. It signed an unpaid MOU with the Motion Picture Association the same week, covering C-Dance and C-Dream safeguards, signaling it wants rights holder trust before launching its own music generation play. Expect licensing frameworks, not just model benchmarks, to become the competitive moat in Asia's AI music stack. Now, India's Perplexity Pro user base held up after Airtel's free year expired, with monthly active users sitting at roughly 14 million in July 2026, down from a peak of 22 million in October 2025. But still far above the 5.4 million downloads recorded in the first half of 2025, before the deal launched. Airtel had offered the 12-month Pro subscription to its roughly 360 million mobile customers starting July 2025, driving about 56 million downloads during the promotional window. Indian monthly mobile revenue for Perplexity climbed from around $34,000 in January 2025 to approximately $156,000 in July 2026. Why it matters? This is the clearest test case so far for whether a telco bundling strategy can seed a paid AI product at national scale in a price-sensitive market. Downloads collapsed once the free window closed, but usage and revenue did not, which gives Perplexity a retention story to take to other carriers across Southeast Asia and the Middle East. Capital allocators watching AI distribution in emerging markets should note the caveat. Sensor Tower cannot separate deliberate renewals from auto-renewals, so the true voluntary conversion rate remains unproven. If even a fraction of those 14 million monthly users are paying by choice, it validates the telco channel as a durable acquisition funnel for AI subscriptions. And every major carrier partnership negotiation in the region will reference this data point. That is your AIinAsia briefing for today. Stay sharp, build well, see you tomorrow.